Welcome to Dumpster Diving,
the podcast.
I'm Jackie.
And I'm Jo.
And we are back with another episode. Is this episode 5?
I think so. Oh, and this is our co-host, Diggle.
Oh, yes. Co-host without a microphone. Because he's so loud he doesn't need one.
And we are comfy and ready to get started.
Before we do that, thank you guys so much for listening. If you're on Spotify or Apple, make sure to rate the episode, rate the podcast, leave us a little comment. If you're watching on YouTube and not just listening but watching, hello. Hopefully our camera quality looks a little better today.
Yes, we've been working
Hopefully.
on it.
Who knows? Make sure to like, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. So it's June now, which is crazy. It's June. It's Pride Month.
Yay.
Let's go.
Woo-hoo.
But it's also a time that a lot of people get married, right? Like June is like wedding season.
Yep.
You got married in June.
June 27th.
June 27th. And you and Dad are about to celebrate. Do you want to say
Sure.
your what anniversary?
45.
45 years.
A lot of years.
That's crazy.
It sounds crazy to me. I don't like to think that I'm old enough to have been married 45 years.
You don't look it.
I got married when I was 10.
Don't let's not say that.
No, that didn't sound right, does it?
Just say you got married not as long, like less years ago.
Okay.
Let's not go with the 10-year-old marriage.
Well, I was not
It's pulling
10.
a weird angle. You guys got married right out of high school, right?
Yes.
They were high school sweethearts.
We were.
Wasn't it like, because we're as you guys can probably tell, we're gonna do some wedding stories today. Crazy things, cool things, bad things. Didn't you guys, wasn't it like the record, wasn't it like a record breaking heat? Like, didn't the air conditioning go out in the church or something?
The whole city.
The whole city?
A big part of the city, including the church,
Because it was so hot?
Yes.
Like it was like rolling brownouts or something?
Yes. And the system couldn't handle it, and the power was off a whole lot of the day before our wedding. And it came back on for the wedding rehearsal, because we had the wedding rehearsal the night before. But it was still so, like, the church was hot. Our pictures from the wedding rehearsal were all just, we look like we're melting. Our makeup is just like this, because it was still so hot in the church, because it didn't have time to cool down. And it was not fun.
Was it still hot the day of your wedding?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It was like, I don't remember. It was like, it was one of those summers, like there were so many days that it was record heat in a row. Maybe
Fun.
like so many, I don't remember how many, but so many days of 100 degrees or more.
Yikes.
Yeah.
And
the thing about it is, my dear mother-in-law, she was cooking the rehearsal dinner at her house.
Did the power go out there?
The power went off. She pulled it off. Luckily, she doesn't wait till the last
Rest
minute.
in peace.
And she pulled it off, and the rehearsal dinner went off without a hitch.
What was your rehearsal dinner?
It was.
What did you guys eat?
We had, it was like your dad's favorite meal.
Do you
brisket.
not remember?
No, I'm just trying to remember what it's called. She made a homemade.
Are you talking about like the homemade barbecue she made? Okay.
Well, not barbecue, but it was a brisket.
Okay.
Homemade brisket. Not the same thing as the big pot of barbecue that she made.
Okay.
And scalloped potatoes. And she did a watermelon where it was carved out, and then the watermelon balls and fruit in it. That was the fruit bowl. It was so pretty. And she made for me coconut cream
That's
pie.
what I was waiting on. I knew you guys had the coconut cream pie
Yeah.
at your rehearsal.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
And like you've talked about this before we get into all the stories. You've talked about this how weddings have changed a little bit.
Yeah.
Since 1980 when you guys got married, because like you guys didn't have like dinner at your wedding or anything. Obviously you had like a
No.
rehearsal dinner,
Right.
but like it was more of just like the ceremony and then like reception.
We had the ceremony in the church, and the reception was in the reception hall of the church. We didn't do dinner, or of course I'm sure, I mean, people with a lot of money probably had big fancy weddings, and you see it in movies, but most of the people that we knew and all, it was a wedding on a budget, and we were real young.
But you guys pulled it off. I've seen some of the pictures. It was really pretty.
Yeah, it was pretty.
I'm gonna pop up a picture here of you and Dad.
Okay, cool.
If you're on YouTube, you can see the picture. You are a beautiful blushing bride. But yeah, let's see if these blushing brides and grooms and everything are gonna be as, I don't know what I was gonna say. I was gonna say like as blushing, but I already said that, didn't I? I guess without further ado, let's dive in. Okay, let's do it. I also want to shout out my friend Zach, who helped me find some of these stories actually today. So shout out to Zach.
Yay, Zach.
Zach and Hoffa, they're the best. And I think they both listen, so thank you guys.
Yay.
So where do we want to start? I don't know.
Something juicy.
Something juicy.
Something juicy. Very controversial. It doesn't matter.
Okay, let's do this one. It's 1 year ago from Am I the Asshole? And it is, am I the asshole for changing the wedding venue my fiance chose to something more flashy as a surprise?
Surprise is never good.
Surprise is never good when it's your fiance.
No.
So I, 25 male, am marrying, especially if it's like, okay, I know this is being like maybe...
Oh, no.
Maybe I shouldn't be this way, but like...
I know what you're thinking.
If it's the man changing something as a surprise, I'm like, don't do it. Okay, I, 25 male, am marrying 24 female this coming October. We both have very large families, but here is hers. Sorry, can't read. Hers is really poor and kind of traditional. Already, I don't like how this sounds.
Yeah.
As a result, my fiance has been taught to always go for the cheapest option throughout her life, whether we are going out to eat or buying clothes or going on holiday. Well, we've been planning the wedding, and the choice of venue was typical for her, a small local church where she was christened. Right off the bat, the place isn't suitable for the number of guests who will be invited, and I knew she only chose that location because of money, which is not an issue. I spoke to my father, and he agreed to fund a wedding abroad in Venice. I'm their only child, so getting married is a big deal, and to arrange transportation for all the guests. He agreed to cover all expenses, so obviously I changed the venue and sent out invitations. I knew the money spent would make her anxious, and she has always dreamed of visiting Venice, so I waited to tell her until it was organized as a surprise. Well, she didn't take it well and said I was a massive asshole that she had much preferred the church venue. She said it was too embarrassing to cancel it now that I've told people, but seems really mad. I'm confused since that venue was never practical, and I'm wondering if I'm the asshole here or if she's overreacting. Am I the asshole? In multiple ways, yes.
Yes. That's insane to do that to the bride.
He sent out the invitations without her looking at them? this seems weird.
It does.
Like this, don't get me wrong. Like, I think it's cool if maybe like the husband is more into the wedding planning than the wife, or vice versa, or whatever. That can be anything. I'm not saying because she's like the woman that she has to like, you know, pick out the invitations and all. But to me, it's a partnership.
Oh, that's the thing. It doesn't have anything to do with gender.
No.
Either way, it's a partnership. It's their wedding. And to surprise either partner with a location change, especially something so drastic.
Well, in Venice, and I'm like, okay, how many people are you inviting? I don't know where these people are, but like, okay, so they have to go somewhere, because I don't think the fiance has ever been to Venice. Oh, it says a wedding abroad, so they are going abroad.
So we're talking passports for the guest.
Well, that's what I'm trying to figure out. He's like, the church venue was too small. We're inviting so many people. And I'm like, so you choose a venue in another country?
I feel like that's...
It sounds like to me it had nothing to do with the fact that the venue is too small. I think this man wanted his wedding in Venice and knew she would not be down for it and was like, I'm just going to surprise her and then act like I did this grand thing for her, and if she doesn't like it, then she's the one overreacting.
Right. I think you're probably right. The thing is, we've got major difference here in the couple. She comes from a totally different economical background than him, it sounds like.
Yeah.
Because if he's talking about the venue's too small to accommodate all their guests, but he and his family have the money to fly all the guests and put all the guests up to Venice and
to arrange transportation for all the guests. So they are putting up that wow.
But again, then you've got people you've got guests that don't have passports. That's just a major.
I guess maybe on the invitations they said send us your information and your passports, and also we can book the tickets. I don't know, like.
Well, to even book flights, you have to have driver's licenses.
I think he's an asshole for the way he wrote it. Like how he's like, so obviously I changed the venue. Is she overreacting here?
Yeah.
And like my Diggle has thoughts. I don't know if it picked up on the mic, but he made some noises. Him saying, but hers is really poor and kind of traditional. The way you said it, like,
yeah,
if you're talking about anyone, especially someone that you love, are you really going to be like, they're kind of poor? I don't think I've ever, well, I mean, it's because I'm not rich, but I don't think I've ever, like, in any context talked about someone and been like, they're kind of poor. Like, you're an asshole for the way you talk, sir. Some top comments here. You're the asshole. You gave her no say in any of it. Picked a venue, picked a different country, scheduled for a date, made the guest list, chose the invitations. Maybe she chose the church because of personal meaning. Maybe she chose it because it was cheaper. The wedding should be planned by both of you, which means if you didn't like the venue, it is fine to say no. Try to find a venue you are both okay with. Something bigger, more options, but still relatively local. Did you even confirm that her closest family would be able to make it? Even if your dad pays for all travel expenses, not everyone can afford to take off work or can travel that far. How soon is it? Are you in the EU? If her family is not well off and you live in the United States, a lot of them probably don't even have passports. Yeah. Also, if she really wants to go to Venice, there's probably a lot of things she wants to do there that would be a lot harder around a wedding. She'd probably enjoy it a lot more as a honeymoon. If you have such vastly differing opinions about money, there are major conversations you need to have in general before marriage, which hopefully doesn't happen because she deserves someone who respects her. Do you live together? How are bills paid? That's true.
That's true. And that's the thing, the respect. Her family if you have older grandparents or great grandparents that want to attend the wedding, they may not can travel. I just think it was really inconsiderate. It's like you said, if he didn't like the venue, and I think they had the perfect idea. It could have been a honeymoon, but not the wedding venue.
Okay, so some context here. That comment I just read, the OP responded. The only thing they responded was, "We are in Poland." So they're not as far from Venice.
Okay.
But still pretty far. Fun fact, he also posted this in Am I the Angel, which is kind of weird.
So am I the angel for planning this great
I guess so.
wedding venue to surprise?
No more comments from the OP or updates or anything. Someone said, and if it's the church she was christened at, that church likely holds a lot of emotional significance for her and her family, especially if they're still religious.
Very true.
Yeah, I don't know.
No, bad move.
Someone said, WTF, how is Venice more practical than a church wedding that's local? You're the asshole massively. And then someone replied back, no, you don't understand. What OP means when he says practical is actually expensive and flashy, which of course the most important thing of any groom's wedding day.
Yeah, I kind of got that feeling that that the little church wedding wasn't good enough.
Yeah, someone said this boils down to the mindset of kind of like, she's white trash and I'm just trying to help her see a different way of living, which I'm kind of getting that vibe too.
Yeah,
but I think the consensus on this one is asshole.
Yeah, definitely.
Yep. Okay, on to the next one. This one is from 203 days ago.
Okay.
It is from Am I the Asshole? And it is, am I the asshole for refusing to label my wedding cake as vegan because a guest felt tricked? This is actually from me, you guys. I'm just kidding. I have not been married, but I am vegan. So, my husband, 32 male, and I, 30 female, had a vegan wedding because we're both vegan. Wow, shocker. We made it clear in advance that the food and cake would be plant-based, and no one complained. Until the reception. The cake was gorgeous, 3 tiers decorated with edible flowers. Towards the end of the night, one of my husband's aunts, Linda, came up to me looking visibly upset. She said it was disrespectful to have a vegan cake on display because it felt like I was pushing my lifestyle on everyone. I told her the cake wasn't meant to make a statement. It was just the dessert we chose for our wedding. She insisted I either move the cake off the main table or add a sign saying it was vegan so people weren't tricked into eating it. I refused because 1, it was my wedding. 2, it's a cake, not propaganda. And 3, no one else seemed to care. Linda ended up storming out, and now my in-laws are saying I should have compromised to avoid drama. I think Linda's reaction was ridiculous, but my husband thinks I could have just put up a sign to keep the peace. Am I the asshole? No.
No. I'm not vegan, and I say no.
Oh.
I guess you could say I'm prejudiced because I have a vegan daughter, but that is ignorance.
Here's my thing.
You're going to say what I'm thinking.
You go ahead.
Vegan food is food.
Yeah.
Vegan food is not some mystery weird thing. Vegan food just means it does not have animal in it.
It's not some alien
Okay, for example,
thing.
A vegan cake means it does not have dairy or eggs. Does it have some other weird kind of mystery chemical or something? No. It's just a different way of cooking where you don't use dairy, you don't use eggs. Do you replace dairy and eggs with some things? Yes, but you're replacing it with...
Yeah, it's such a misconception, though.
It is.
Because it's probably, okay, so for dairy, it's probably using, like, oat milk or soy milk or almond milk. For the eggs, there's a bunch of different egg replacements. There's flaxseed. There's applesauce. There's egg replacements that are literally just made out of, like, tapioca.
Now, the only reason you'd need to label it is, let's say you used almond milk.
Allergy.
Allergy.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Like, I understand at an event or whatever, because a lot of vegan food does have, like, soy, nuts, coconut, stuff like that. So if you wanted to just be over the top, nice about things, but I mean, that could go for vegan or non-vegan if something has... an allergen in it, but also at the same time, coming from someone that has a lot of allergies, a lot of food allergies, like I'm allergic to cinnamon. I obviously am vegan, so like when you have a lot of dietary restrictions, let's say, not even food allergies, if you have dietary restrictions of any sort, you just learn to ask these things. Like I would ask the caterer or something like, hey, does this have cinnamon in it? I just want to make sure because I have an allergy, you know?
Right.
So if you have a serious allergy to like almonds, maybe ask. Like, my thing is though, is to me to say that it's like, to say, what was it that,
you were tricking
pushing
people.
her lifestyle.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's a vegan like, have you never had a French fry or a PB&J sandwich?
Exactly.
Like, am I pushing my lifestyle on you? Like when you go to Wendy's and you get a order of French fries, you're eating vegan. Like, what I think is funny though is what if it wasn't vegan? Okay. What if it was a cake with lemon curd in it and you didn't like lemon? Are you going to go up to the bride and be like, how dare you pick lemon for your cake? I hate lemon. I'm mad about it. No, it's not your wedding.
This is just a woman that is not educated or ignorant about veganism, and she has a preconception about, you know, and a lot of people do have a preconception about, oh, hippy dippy or, you know, weird. And
she also just sounds like the aunt though that was gonna cause drama at the wedding no matter what.
Exactly.
There was gonna be some excuse for her to cause drama, I feel.
Right. And she's like, oh, they're both vegan.
Because it almost sounds like to me, because like her in-laws were like, you should have just done it to not have drama. I'm like, so they knew they've probably dealt with whoever's sister this is or whatever. They've probably always, she's the one in the family, which you see this so much in Reddit stories. It's like, just bend over backwards to them so that we don't have to deal with the drama. It's like,
there's always that one family member. And it's like you said, everybody's like, oh, we know they're going to be like that. So just walk around eggshells on them or bend over for them. Like you said, just put up a sign to please her. Well, you know what? She didn't have to eat the cake.
No.
Just don't eat the cake and shut up.
No one's pushing their lifestyle on you. Oh my gosh. I also just think it's funny because there's a lot of like accidentally vegan things or accidentally vegetarian things. And to me, if it's someone's wedding, like I've been to and been a part of a lot of weddings, like in my family, a lot of my friends have gotten married, and I'm like, the wedding is about the couple, okay? And let's just take the vegan thing out of it. I've been to multiple weddings for people that I absolutely love and adore that I was like, you know, like I wouldn't have picked this food or whatever at my wedding, but I know that they love that kind of food and they, you know, so you do it. Like, if you go to a birthday party, it's the person's birthday, so they're gonna serve the food that they like. Like I had a birthday party this year, a few months ago. All my friends came. Shout out. But like I did a whole vegan taco bar and vegan cake, and none of them like complain. They knew. They were
No.
like, we know Jackie's vegan. This is like, and a lot of them were like, this is cool. I get to try the different vegan food. And I'm not sitting there going like,
Oh,
you have to eat this. Become a vegan.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
be my lifestyle.
Right.
Like, I don't know. I just think it's weird. Like,
Well, different cultures.
yeah.
I mean, I've been to a wedding that was an Indian wedding, and there was Indian food.
Oh, surprise.
Surprise, you know?
Are you going to go up to them and be like, I don't like your culture or your, I'm not like, and
I don't
again,
like Indian food,
I'm
so
not
I'm not.
I'm not comparing veganism
No.
to someone's culture and identity, but it is part of someone's. If you are vegan,
Right.
it is a vegan lifestyle. You know, it's not just a diet, and it's just so funny to me to cause a fuss about that. If you don't like the food,
Don't eat
eat it, and run through Taco Bell on the way home.
Exactly.
Like, what are you gonna do? Like.
And if you think they're pushing their lifestyle on you, leave before the reception.
It would be one thing if they were like, I don't know, like doing like some ritual, like eat the green bean or something. But I'm like, it doesn't sound like to me they're pushing any lifestyle. Also, they didn't even have to let people know.
No.
In my opinion.
No.
Like when you get a wedding invitation, it doesn't say, and we will be having.
Yeah.
And like list every ingredient and every food they're having. So like to me, they didn't even have to. They were being nice. They said on the invitation that everything was going to be plant-based.
Right.
That's.
Well, in some wedding invitations, when they go out, they give you a choice.
Oh yeah. Like, would you prefer
right.
chicken or
And they
fish?
let you say if you have any allergies or.
True. You're right.
And even now, a lot of times it'll ask, are you vegan? Do we need to have a vegan option for you?
Or like I've been to events where it's like, do you need a gluten-free option?
Right.
And I have like friends that are gluten-free. Like, I'm like, what if they were, I have, like I said, I have a good friend that's gluten-free. So if they had a fully gluten-free wedding, would you say they were pushing their lifestyle on you? Like, I just think it's weird. I have a friend that isn't vegan, but she's highly allergic to dairy because maybe she would get a vegan cake because that would be easier so that she doesn't have dairy. I'm like, and actually she just got engaged. Shout out Micah.
Congratulations, Micah.
Like, so would that be pushing your lifestyle? Like, I don't get it. Like, that's just...
Oh, but you know what? This brings up a family story of my mom's. My mother had a relative, I think a cousin, that died on her wedding day.
Why does this have to do with...
Because she was this was back in, we're talking, I think my mom was fairly young. She remembers it because it was dramatic for the family. She was young.
Is awful.
So this was probably, my mom was born in 1938. So this was probably in the 40s because my mom was real young. But a member of her family got married and had a piece of the wedding cake, and she was diabetic. And she died.
Wait, it was the bride?
The bride had a piece.
Did she know she was diabetic?
I don't know.
How did that like work in the 40s? Like it's not like they had like the little thing on the arm like they do now.
But she died.
Oh my god.
After eating wedding cake, and they said it was because she was diabetic.
That's terrible.
Isn't that horrific? But that's what that's what it made me think of when you said that.
Oh, that's horrible.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a story that I've heard passed down in my mom's family. But I don't remember the details, but it was...
Yikes.
Yeah.
Okay. Some comments here. Yikes. Not the asshole. The whole thing was vegan. It was your wedding, your choice. I wouldn't feel tricked by eating a vegan cake at all. She has some issues. Let her seethe and be upset. You don't owe her anything. Putting up a sign would have rewarded her bad, entitled behavior. You had no reason to do it. Also, I want to point out, I will say, on the flip side, it would be tricking. like, if I went to a wedding and I asked somebody, and obviously I wouldn't make a stink, I would just ask someone nicely, is there dairy or eggs in the cake? Or is this bacon vegan or whatever? And if they were like, yeah, it's vegan, and then I were to eat it, because veganism, and you could say, well, no, it's the same thing. It's not, because veganism, you're choosing to not eat those things, whether it be for your health, for the environment, for the animals, whatever. It is a part of your, like, almost like moral compass or lifestyle or whatever. So I will say, if they did that and they were like, yeah, there's no bacon bits in this cake, and then they were like, bacon bits in this cake, then that, to me, that would be wrong.
I know, but I have been with you to events and things where you didn't know for sure, and you would only ask if it wasn't a big deal. Like, you're not going to go around bugging the bride and groom.
No,
is the cake vegan?
all.
Can I eat it? If you didn't know for sure,
then I probably just wouldn't eat it.
You just wouldn't eat it.
And I would be very respectful about it. I wouldn't be like, I wouldn't be making a big deal. Like, I'm not going to eat this cake. Like, like I've been to multiple weddings since I've been vegan, and I just don't eat the cake. And it's the same thing as, like, if someone doesn't like cake and so they don't take a piece of cake.
Right.
Like, and then of course I have, like, awesome friends, again, shout out to Zach and Hoffa, who, like, literally had a whole vegan option at their wedding, and all this stuff, that I got to eat, like, a whole big plate of stuff because they had vegan options for me.
I will say, your friends you have some of your best friends. They always are accommodating her vegan
and they're so
choices.
Sweet about, like, they don't have to, like, I'm always down to bring things, like, I've stayed with friends before, like, shout out to Melanie and Landon, where, like, they stocked their kitchen full of, like, vegan food for me, so I had options. So I guess it does come down to, like, it's just, I don't know, it's like what you do for friends or family, like, I don't know, like, I've had friends that were gluten-free, and, like, I always want to make sure people have options and everything, but, like, when it's your wedding and you do vegan,
and this family member to make us stink when they're both,
I know, I'm like, it's not even,
that's just,
there was nothing going on here. I don't know, but, like, I felt like I said, though, I feel like no matter what,
she'd have found something.
She would have found something. I think you're right. Feel it. I just feel it. This aunt. I don't know.
Yeah.
Let's see if there's any comments from OP here. Let's see. I think their comment got deleted. I don't know why. But I mean, mostly here is just everyone's just saying not the asshole. A comment here said, some people just get stuck on the word vegan. My mom, overall a smart person, once called me for advice on what snacks to have in the house when my vegan brother was visiting. Most of the snacks she gave us as a kid were vegan. Grapes are vegan. Pretzels are usually vegan. Baby carrots are vegan. Potato chips are vegan. Come on. It's the same mental short circuit that people get when they're hosting somebody who doesn't drink alcohol. So what do you drink? That's very true.
Yeah.
It's like, to me, it would be like getting offended. And I've read stories like this on Reddit where people got really offended that someone, like, didn't have alcohol at their wedding.
Yeah.
And, like, they were like, how dare you not have alcohol at your wedding? I'm not coming because it's not going to be fun. And it's like, if you don't know if them or someone in their family has had a problem with alcohol, you don't know their story. You don't get to dictate whether or not they have alcohol at their wedding.
I think you and I listened to a Reddit story on Smosh or one of the podcasts we listened to. They talked about that this whole group of friends were going to boycott the wedding because they weren't having alcohol. And I'm like, well, then you're not very good friends.
No. And I'm sorry, you can't spend, like, 2 hours without having a drink?
Right.
Like, yikes. Okay. Lots of stuff there.
Yeah. We could go on all day.
Yeah, I really could. Let's move on to the next one. Okay. This one is from a year ago. Am I the asshole? Am I the asshole for suggesting that my brother and his fiance bring out a cake at midnight on their wedding day for our grandmother's 80th birthday? What do you think, Mom?
I don't think so.
Okay.
But the problem I have with, I don't know. There's so much drama now you hear about weddings because it's like it's all about the bride and like, and I agree with that. And it is the bride's day, and like I agree with don't wear white, and all this.
Like the obvious things.
But this is the 80-year-old grandmother.
And did they have? We haven't read it yet, but like, did they book the wedding for the same day as the grandmother's birthday?
Right. And hey, kudos for grandma if she's staying up till midnight.
Yeah.
At 80 years old.
Okay, let's dive in. My older brother is getting married to his partner on July 20th, a date that they agreed on in January and shared with the family. July 21st is our grandmother's 80th birthday. Okay. Oh, wait, that does make sense because midnight. Okay, duh. She comes from a line of women where none of them lived past the age of 80. So it's a big deal for her, and she announced last year that she wanted to go all out with a weekend-long celebration. When my brother announced his wedding date, she was the first one to react with kindness, considering he forgot all about her 80th birthday plans when deciding upon the wedding date. They had made several down payments before announcing, so there was no point in asking them to move the wedding to a week before or later for Grandma. And Grandma wouldn't allow it. She ultimately decided to have a relaxing, low-key Sunday dinner because my brother and his fiancé also want to have a post-wedding brunch that day for relatives and the bridal party. Okay.
No, that's a thing now.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
My mom, no shame if you did that. It just sounds like a lot. Like, my social battery would be done. I'd be like, you guys get out of here. My mom and I got to talking, and we thought it would be super fun if at midnight us grandkids could surprise Grandma with a cake and have the band play her favorite song so she could share a dance with her. So we could share a dance with her. It seemed like a fun way to include such an important milestone into the celebratory weekend since she was giving up her big birthday bash in favor of the wedding. I called my brother immediately to share the idea with him, and he loved it. He even came up with the idea to make the cake England-themed because Mom and I are taking her to England in September as our gift. It's a lifelong dream of hers to go. Oh.
Aww.
That is, he loved it until he didn't. Ooh, meaning until he spoke with his fiance.
Oh.
He called to say the cake deal for Gran was off, and that same night I received a text from his fiance telling me I should have checked with her first if she would be okay with it, and how I was being so insensitive, rude, and selfish for meddling with her special day. Yes, her special day. Not my brother's special day or their special day, her special day. She really seemed like a good person, and we get along well despite not being super close, but it seemed logical to me to contact my brother since it's also his wedding and it's his grandma, not hers. I responded back by saying it was my brother's special day as well, and how he was initially thrilled by the idea. I also told her I didn't appreciate her accusing me of meddling since both Mom and I have fully respected the fact that she planned the entire wedding with her mom, leaving us out of the loop despite my parents paying for a portion of the wedding. My mom was bummed about being fully excluded, even though all she would have wanted was to know how everything was going. The wedding reception is scheduled to end at 2 a.m., and by midnight, she'll already have been the center of attention. It's not like someone is going to jump out of her wedding cake and propose to another person. My text was met with a phone call from my brother, who basically told me the conversation is over as I've overstepped my boundaries. Am I the asshole?
Absolutely not.
No, I think that's an awesome idea.
That's what I was saying about brides are taking it too far, that this is my day. And most of the time, I agree with like the people that propose at someone else's wedding. That's awful. But this is an 80-year-old grandma. How is she taken away from your special day at midnight to have a cake? Yeah. And again,
one song for
y'all
her.
Didn't think about her birthday and planned it. And the family was not, the sister or future sister-in-law asked. Mm-hmm. And
to be like, why did you contact him and not me? It's her brother.
That's ridiculous. What? I'm sorry. She is not the asshole. The future sister-in-law is.
Yeah. She needs to calm down. Some comments here. Not the asshole. Your kind, loving 80-year-old grandma, who has already expressed how this is a historic and meaningful moment for her, is more important than your entitled sister-in-law, who would already have a full day of attention under her belt by then. Go ahead and plan for lovely festivities with your grandmother and her family without sister-in-law or your brother. She outright declared war on the people financing her wedding and who are important to her husband, so all bets are off.
Well, you know what they could do? Let's just all leave their wedding reception early and go celebrate Grandma's birthday.
Yeah, if she wants to be like
if
that.
If you want it all about you, how about just not having them there for the reception? And they could, because they could do that,
Well,
and they'd have the right.
To me, it's like, it'd even be one thing if it was like your sister's 27th birthday that made no sense or anything.
Right.
But this is like a milestone birthday for like the matriarch of the family.
Right.
I don't see the issue.
Well, I can tell you an issue with my sister-in-law. When we got married on June 27th. Then my brother proposed not long after we got married. I think the Christmas after we got married, he proposed to his girlfriend at Christmas.
They're no longer together, right?
They're no longer together.
Okay, so this is fine to tell. I was like, are you sure you want to tell this?
Well, but you know what? I still love her. She's still the sweetest.
Even though they aren't together.
Yeah. Even though they're not together, she's the sweetest thing. But they got married on our first anniversary.
Oh, that's
June 27th.
On your first anniversary, too.
And when they first told us, I was mad.
I would
was
be
like,
too.
Yeah, I was like, no. But I mean, they explained it that because she had a family church that she had grown up in and that she had always gone to, and that's the church she wanted to get married in. And that was the only date that they had available. And it was weird because most people get married like on a Saturday. And so if we had gotten married on a Saturday, it wouldn't have been the same date. But to accommodate some...
What is Diggle doing? If you're just listening to this, Diggle is climbing on the couch, sitting on the back of the couch now. Okay.
But... so they were getting married on a Saturday night. We had gotten married on a Friday night to accommodate some relatives and some things when we got married. So their date was the same as ours.
Yeah,
but,
that's a little awkward.
You know, I got mad and I was young and I kind of resented it, but it wasn't.
I don't know. It'd be weird, though. Your brother have the same anniversary as you.
But it ended up not being an issue because they didn't stay married, I don't even think, a year.
Oops.
So, of course, your dad wanted to surprise me for our first anniversary and do something special. So he had planned a little trip, but we just planned it around the wedding.
Yeah.
He actually had his sister go pack a bag for me while we were at the wedding and sneak it in the car. And then we drove to our little
That's cute.
trip that we were doing after the wedding. So...
some comments back from OP. My mom is now really upset over the whole situation and she feels responsible for messing things up. I, on the other hand, am pissed off enough to blow off the wedding and throw grandma a weekend birthday bash. The old lady is so sweet and kind that she would probably be stressed going back and forth as to not miss her grandson's big day or the party her granddaughter threw her. I mean, of course I won't do it, but it's fun to think about. I do admit I was originally annoyed when they announced the wedding date. So were my aunts and cousins, but my grandma was so kind about it, and my mom supported her as she wanted to be there for both her son and mom. So grandma ended up settling for a basic Sunday dinner, knowing everyone will be tired, hungover, and worn out instead of having a weekend-long birthday bash with all the people she loves. Someone said, do you think those aunts and cousins would be down to organize something for your grandmother? Nothing outrageous, but something better than a lunch alone and closer to her original vision for a weekend-long party? And OP responded, I would have to check with them. Mom doesn't want this getting out as to not upset grandma and to not further upset the bride-to-be. The problem is that we have a lot of family and friends coming from out of state. They were originally going to come for the birthday, but now they're coming for the wedding. So I'm not sure how many of them could tweak their schedules and stay an additional day or two if we were to celebrate on Sunday and Monday, for example. I think that's so wrong.
And they may not can come back. I was going to say just postpone it to a different weekend.
Yeah.
But
Someone
That's
said
all they wanted.
technically
They just wanted to bring her out a cake.
Technically, the birthday was on the calendar before the wedding brunch, so anyone attending can honestly say they had previous plans. Yeah, that's the
But
thing.
grandmother doesn't want that because
I know.
she's not going to spoil the wedding. And
That's crazy. We have an update.
uh-oh. Ooh.
It's big. It's juicy.
Ooh.
It's crazy.
Ooh.
Update on Am I the Asshole for suggesting my brother and his fiance bring out a cake at midnight on their wedding day for our grandmother's 80th birthday. The wedding is off.
Oh my gosh.
After the conflict between me and my brother's former fiance, which resulted in a phone call from my brother, I decided to text her 3 days later to apologize. Even though my family and the internet sided with me, I just didn't want any bad mojo or to be a sister-in-law from hell. My text was met with a lot of anger on my dad's behalf, which really surprised me because the man supports me no matter what. He was telling me how I shouldn't have been the one to apologize, and he let another thing slip out. Into February, the bride's dad asked my dad in confidence if he could pitch in additional money for his daughter's dream wedding because he didn't think it was fair he had to pay more due to tradition. My mom didn't know about this, which prompted fight number 1.
Oh, no.
My dad was pissed that I was the one to apologize, even though I was the one that was insulted. So he called my brother behind our backs and told him that he respects the fact that she will be his wife and his primary family, but he also thinks he should have checked her for insulting me the same way he checked me for crossing a boundary. He then did what dads sometimes do best, go off with a monologue after keeping shit inside for months. He told him about the additional money that he gave, and he told him he wasn't convinced the overlapping events were a coincidence. Fight number 2 ensued. My brother called our mom the next day to tell her the wedding was off. All hell broke loose. We then couldn't get in touch with my brother or his fiance for almost a week. Her mom then got a hold of my work email and emailed me saying I had ruined her daughter's life. I forwarded the email to my brother, and he finally called me back. He said it felt like she wanted to marry for the wedding, not for the marriage. She also admitted to making her dad ask our dad for more money so she could afford a wedding flower package she wanted that was an additional $7,000. And she saw nothing wrong with keeping it a secret from my brother. She also refused to at least acknowledge my apology and to apologize back to me. My brother told her he would like to postpone the wedding and work on their issues, and she ended up calling off the wedding and breaking up with him. My relationship with my brother is still a wreck. He said he needs time because he loves her, but he understands she didn't prioritize him as much as he did her. What do you think, Diggle? Okay.
I know.
Grandma's birthday bash is back on, and we're happy for her. She's excited as heck after the initial turmoil. I miss my brother so much, and it sucks knowing how heartbroken he is, but at least he's talking to my parents, and he has the rest of the family as his support system. I really hope we can rebuild our relationship someday. I'm glad he won't marry the wrong person for the wrong reasons, but it's awful being the trigger to his life falling apart, and I regret everything.
I don't think she should have regrets. This needed to come out. She saved him from...
If it wasn't this, it would have been something else. Like, it's not your fault.
Well, she saved him from marrying the wrong person, as far as I'm concerned. If this is what the catalyst that made it all come forward, I mean, asking for money from his family and not telling him. And... I think it's really sad that the brother is still upset with the sister.
Yeah.
But I feel like he will get past that and they'll work it out.
But I don't really even see that she did anything wrong. Like,
she didn't.
Maybe when the fiance texted her and was like, "You should ask me," and she was kind of, because didn't she kind of be like, "Well, it's my brother's wedding too." Like,
right.
I can see maybe the sister-in-law, but like that's if I'm being nitpicky.
Well, she was even trying to apologize and make sure that she did smooth it over. It was really Dad that was the catalyst to letting the truth out.
Yeah.
So if anything, he could still be mad at the dad. I don't understand why he's still mad at his sister.
Yeah, I don't either.
Why they're...
I mean, she tried to apologize and everything.
Right.
Some comments here. Ultimately, it sounds like this is for the best and your brother dodged a bullet. Hopefully you two can repair your relationship. OP responded, said, thank you. I'll be seeing him for the first time during grandmother's birthday weekend. So he is coming to that. That's cool.
Good.
And I'm equally terrified and looking forward to it. I'm hoping we can sit down and talk, but if not, I won't pressure him. I know our family will do everything to try to cheer him up and be a solid support system. And then they responded, I don't know your brother or you, so take this for what it's worth. Maybe talk about anything but this. Dude's wedding just called off mere weeks before it was set to happen. He's probably hurt and embarrassed, so go talk about baseball or whatever. So
good advice.
And OP responded, that makes sense. The wedding was called off mid-May, a few days after I had originally posted, but the two of us haven't spoken aside from that one phone call. I do text him periodically just to check up on him. He hasn't replied to many texts, but he's talking and FaceTiming with our parents and grandparents as well as some cousins, so I know he's okay and slowly doing better. I would like to apologize to him face to face, but I like the idea of keeping things lighthearted if possible so he can feel more relaxed and hopefully have some much needed fun.
Well, you know, I think that may be it. He may be more embarrassed than anything.
Mm-hmm.
And he can, you know, maybe with mom and dad, it's mom and dad. But
yeah.
With his sister, he's a little more embarrassed about it. And
yeah.
I think it had a good ending.
I mean,
it's sad, and I hate that he had to go through that.
Yeah.
And the family, but that family sounds like that they've got it all together, you know, that they're support each other. And
yeah, I think he dodged a bullet.
Because evidently mom and dad were going to pay that extra $7,000 for
Which
the...
is crazy. $7,000 for flowers.
I just saw in the news today how the tariffs are affecting weddings. And they were talking about flowers are really going... And people are opting out, doing things different than having flowers.
Oh, wow. Okay, moving on. This is from Am I the Asshole? It's a little over 2 years old. It's older. Am I the asshole for wearing my wedding ring to my sister's wedding against her wishes and hijacking her night? Your wedding ring? You can't wear your wedding ring to a wedding? Never heard that one before. My sister, 29 female, got married last Saturday. The ceremony was beautiful, and I enjoyed myself as much as someone who is famously not a wedding guy could. Okay, so it's a dude. The dramatics were not quite as enjoyable. Okay. I, 27 male, so he's the younger brother, okay, hadn't seen my family in a few months, and we've only had a handful of phone calls over the course of those months. It's never on purpose that I pull one of these disappearing acts. It's mostly out of habit. I've been fiercely independent for most of my life, and I get easily caught up in whatever I'm doing at the time that makes it hard for me to remember to keep those not in my direct line of sight in the loop. My mother is the same way. It's also nice visiting around times when big events like this are going on, as my mom is prone to hovering whenever I'm home, and this takes some of the spotlight off me. Okay. I had been in Ireland around 8 months prior to flying... I had been in Ireland around 8 months prior to flying in last Thursday. I was originally there to spend 2 weeks with my best friend, who, thanks to the aforementioned one-track mindness I possess, I had unfortunately grown apart from within recent years. Ours was a friendship that had started since we were 14 and was one of the most important relationships in my life for over a decade, and I wanted to put more effort into it so I didn't lose it. He was spending time overseas as to reconnect with his heritage since his father's passing. I was already traveling, and my stay obviously turned out to be a lot longer than 2 weeks. It also turned into us getting married. Funny how life works out. Oh, I see what's happening now. I know what's coming now. That's also just like a beautiful story. That sounds like a rom-com. I love it. Okay. About 2 weeks before our trip to the States for my sister's wedding, I sent out a mass email to close family, letting them know that me and my husband were married. I wanted to assuage any possibility of us stealing any thunder right from the get-go. Oh, okay. My mom replied that she was hurt that she wasn't told sooner or allowed to be there, which I understood. It seemed her mood flipped by the time we met in person, however. Rehearsal dinner was on Friday, and that was where we all met up for the first time. My mom was overjoyed to see me and my partner and spent a large part of the night telling stories about she had always predicted there was something different about my friendship with him compared to others I was close with in high school. It was a very sweet moment, but at the end of the night, my sister pulled me aside and asked if we would not wear our wedding rings to her ceremony. I was confused, so I asked why. She said I was taking the attention off her, and she was already bitter that I was hijacking her rehearsal dinner. More family might take notice if I wore my ring tomorrow and cause a similar incident. I refused. Like I mentioned before, the ceremony was beautiful, but she didn't speak to me for the rest of the weekend, and we ended up leaving the reception early. Am I the asshole?
Yes and no.
I don't think the rings would have made a difference.
I think that, because that's what I started thinking when you were reading it, that he hijacked the rehearsal dinner.
Yeah.
And it did all. They should have come early. A day or two early and get all that out of the way, because understandably the family's excited for him and they're meeting. Some of the family may not have met the new husband before, although they sound like they went to school together.
So they knew him.
And so it was a big, so he really should have planned a little better and come early. So he didn't. So I understand that why she felt that way, that it did kind of take over the rehearsal dinner.
Yeah.
So she was worried it was going to take over the wedding as well.
I kind of feel that it was a little bit mom's fault for doing that.
Yeah.
Because mom was like, oh my gosh. And then started telling stories and all.
Right.
And like mom should have just like,
Right.
you know, not talked about it.
Right.
But at the same time, if you're at a wedding with someone and you're like meeting family members for the first time or like seeing them for the first time in a while, they're going to be like, who's this with you?
Yeah.
You know, like you're plus one. They're going to ask who that is. And now at this point, okay, even if they don't have wedding rings on, is he allowed to be like, yeah, this is my husband.
Right.
We just got married. You know, like it's going to, it's going to happen no matter what.
This is what I was talking about before, though. I get the whole, okay, it's about me, it's my day, it's our day, but it's becoming so, you know, nothing else can happen on that day.
To me, a wedding is like, okay, yes, it is about celebrating the couple, but
it's
also
about sharing that with family.
Yeah, and it's also like a family celebration. Like you get to see family that you haven't seen in a while. You get to catch up with them. You get to see your cousins that live out of state and see what they're doing, see their new baby. Like we've been to a lot of weddings where like someone had like, you know, a child that like, you know, you haven't met yet or whatever. Is that the same? I mean, like...
Right, and that's... I guess that's the problem I have is I hear all these brides saying, but you're taking the attention away from me. Is the wedding just to get you attention?
Yeah.
Or is it a celebration about you and your partner and y'all's love and beginning a new life together?
I don't know. I think it's
becoming
weird.
It's becoming really weird though with brides. A lot of bridezillas. That because it's like you said,
and groomzillas, like the guy that booked Venice.
Right. Well, but when you do bring all this family together, it's like you said, there's going to be family members with new babies, and the family's going to be excited to see that new baby. Is the bride going to be mad? Oh, the baby's taking all the attention away. Some brides, yes. That's why sometimes they have weddings where no children are allowed. And that's fine.
Yeah.
That's their prerogative. That's their right. And
I just think it's weird to like you're worried that any conversation might stray away from you.
Right.
I just find that to be weird. Like, I mean, do people feel that way at like birthday party? I know I keep using birthday parties, and I know like a wedding, okay, is a lot bigger than a birthday party because you're celebrating like two families coming together. But again, two families. It's not. I don't want it to just be And trust me, I'm someone that I love attention. I want things to be about me, but I don't want my wedding to be like, you're not talking about me? You're not talking about how pretty I look in my dress? How dare you? I want to share that moment with people. I want other people to remember it as an awesome experience for them.
They had fun. They enjoyed it.
Yeah, if it was near, if I was getting married and it was near Gigi's birthday, my grandmother's birthday, I myself would be like, let's do a little cake.
Yeah.
Let's do a little cake for her 80th or 90th birthday or whatever. And just like, be like, this is Gigi's corner over here. Like, I don't understand this. Or like, if your brother just got married, and it sounds like he's very like elusive and weird. The brother is like, just, it sounds like he probably does stuff like this often. Like he wasn't going to have a big wedding ever anyway. And he just decided to get married. And I mean, this is the perfect time for everyone to find out about it. It's not like,
ask him, would it be okay if we made an announcement and celebrated y'all too? Yeah. And then it wouldn't take away from, to me, it wouldn't take away from the bride and groom, that couple, to say, hey, my brother flew here all the way from wherever, and
they
he
were like
just got married
or something.
So we want to acknowledge, that their love too, and everybody give them a hand, or and then it's over with.
Yeah. And then everyone knows, and it's not gonna keep going on,
right? So, I mean, heck, when you have a big party like that and a big reception, and you're sitting people, a lot of times you're sitting with people you don't necessarily know. Yeah. You need something to talk about. Yeah. You don't want them just talking about the bride and groom. I mean, it's cool. A lot of times that's what you do is like, well, how do you know the bride, or how do you know the groom? And that's how you have an icebreaker, and that gets you talking. But
some comments. Am I crazy, or should people be freely able to wear rings of their choice on their own body without being criticized for it?
Well, it's like you said, if they didn't wear their rings, it's still going to be awkward, because how do you introduce each other?
Yeah. Another comment, at that point, wearing your rings or not wouldn't have made a difference. Everyone already knew you were married. Maybe it would have been worse because people would wonder and ask why you were not wearing rings. Your sister, though, is not completely at fault either. You must have been pretty hurt that her rehearsal dinner, or she must have been pretty hurt that her rehearsal dinner was all about you getting married. You could have thought that sending an email wouldn't stop any conversation about your surprise wedding right before your sister's. I understand you're a carefree guy, but maybe you could have found a better time to let everyone know about your neo marriage. Edit, after reading your comments, you are the asshole. Married for 4 months and lets a few know just before the wedding of his sister and still doesn't see any problem with his actions. He was labeled the asshole. So let's look at some comments, because they said looking at your comments. I'm not seeing any comments. I'm wondering if they got deleted. Okay, let's see.
For y'all that don't know, or you're not watching, Diggle just jumped on the couch and was giving Jackie kisses. She was asking him if he was mad at us, because he's been scratching at the door for 5 minutes. But it's because he doesn't want to go around and go in the door that he can come in.
There's
by
2
himself.
doors. One is closed, one is open. He doesn't want to come in the door that was open. Anyway, some comments here. He commented a lot.
Oh.
So let's just see here. The OP said, she's never given me that impression before. I would love to say a resounding no, but these things manifest in weird ways for some people. I can understand where she's coming from to an extent. I had emailed close family, but not every single guest in attendance. So seeing the rings would be some people's first introduction to the situation. Still, I don't think it was a totally reasonable request, but wanted some outside feedback. OP responded to another comment saying, you were married 4 months, or from this post, it seemed like you had emailed everyone who was going to attend. Seriously, did you not think that coming out with your marriage right on the weekend of your sister's wedding, even though you were married for 4 months, wasn't an asshole move? The more I think about it, and the more insensitive you seem to be, I would have been more pissed if I was your sister. And don't think about Someone said it's about bigotry. I don't know what's going on with that. I guess because they're gay. OP responded, there was always something to catch up on when seeing extended family for the first time in a while. That's what I said. So I didn't see it as a big deal. I made sure to tell anyone in attendance that I felt I was close enough to justify an emotional reaction from them. Otherwise, I don't think it would be an issue. Looking at the OP, I don't think he's an asshole. I just think he's
kind of clueless.
Yeah. Because people are like, you had 4 months to tell all these people. I think just the way he talks, I just think it was like out of sight, out of mind. He doesn't talk with these people ever. And then the wedding was coming up and he was like, oh crap. They're going to all wonder. So I think he tried to do what he thought was best.
Right. And again, I think he could have just come a couple of days early.
Yeah.
Gotten all that out of the way. And then... and even like you said, it's kind of mom's fault. She was the one that it might have been the one really playing it up at the rehearsal dinner. And he could have said, okay, Mom, now this is my sister's day.
Yeah.
So let's not talk about.
Weird.
Yeah.
Weird Dickel. Okay, moving on. Next story. This is from Am I the Asshole? It's approximately 200 days old. Am I the asshole for refusing to leave a wedding because I wore a dress that looks white under a blacklight? Was the wedding a blacklight wedding? Let's see.
But don't lots of things look white under a blacklight?
I think so.
Lots of colors. I don't know.
My hair
it's
looks
been so
interesting
long
under
since
blacklight.
I've been to a rave.
Mom goes to a lot of raves. A few months ago, also there is a picture. So if you're watching,
good.
I'll pop up the picture. If you're listening, go to our Instagram. I will have the picture there. Because this kind of thing, we got to see pictures. So, a few months ago, I attended a close friend's wedding with my husband. I wore a yellow dress. Think like Belle in Beauty of the Beast yellow. Okay?
Okay.
Bumblebee yellow. So yellow that I did not question if it was appropriate or not to wear to a wedding, and neither did my friends nor family. I arrive at the wedding. We have the ceremony, the cocktail hour, the dinner, the reception. Oh my goodness, how many layers to this wedding? I get so many compliments on the dress, and the bride even comments on how much she loves it several times. Towards the end of the reception, the venue dimmed the lights and turned on some black lights. These black lights made my dress appear more white than yellow. A member of the wedding party approached me while the black lights were on and stated that I needed to leave because my dress was white and inappropriate. I stated that the dress was yellow, but the black lights were making it appear white. The member of the wedding party stated that if I didn't leave, she would make me. Okay. I stated, I'm here to celebrate my friend, repeated that the dress was yellow, and said I will not be leaving early. Bride and groom hadn't left yet, and I came from overseas. Oh, wow. The conversation, while heated, did not have raised voices or foul language from either side, but I will say it was tense. The wedding party member walked off, and I watched as they immediately went to talk to the groom, angrily pointing in my direction. The groom shrugged and continued to dance. I just see like... Just like, okay, whatever. The next morning, I was approached by a different friend at breakfast, not in the wedding party, who stated that they heard what happened and that I should have left when asked because it made people uncomfortable and that I made it about me partying rather than respecting wedding etiquette. I have felt incredibly embarrassed about this since. So am I the asshole for not leaving the wedding when asked? Edit. Here's a link to a similar dress. This is not the dress I wore, but very similar-ish in style and color. So I'll pop that up right here. Shabloom. Also, the most controversial thing seems to be the blacklight dance party at the wedding. It was the last hour or so and was just a way to have fun. It was not as weird or as tacky as people are making it out to be. Hey, do what you want. I don't think they're the asshole.
I don't think so
It was the
either.
last hour of the wedding.
And the bride and groom didn't ask
That's the
her to
thing.
leave. I don't understand this other person coming up the next morning and telling her that she was.
It sounds like to me, the person that came up to her at the wedding started talking about her to people.
Yeah.
It was like, I can't believe you did this. It's like, the dress was yellow.
The thing is, they're the ones ruining the wedding because they're creating this drama around this person. And now everybody's going to remember the drama that went down instead of the fun time and the great wedding that it went on. Instead, everybody's going to be talking about this drama because whoever came up to her, evidently, like you said, went around talking about her.
Some comments here. Not the asshole. Who checks their attire under a blacklight to see if it passes? Ridiculousness. I understand if it appeared white under normal lights, but come on, this was an unusual situation at the end of the reception. You were fine, and whomever approached you was completely and utterly out of line. Some people have nothing better to do than look for problems that don't exist. The OB responded, I agree about passing it under a blacklight beforehand. It's not something I even thought about. And they responded, no one would have because it's unreasonable. Also, every pastel or lighter tone dress would have looked white under the black light.
See, that's what I was wondering. What? But this dress, I did go look at the dress. The dress is long and ruffles, and I could see if it was white, it would look like a wedding dress. But I don't know what everyone else was wearing. Was everyone else? It sounds like a very formal wedding, all the different.
Yeah.
So was everybody wearing long dresses and long gowns? If that's the case, then no, she absolutely did anything wrong.
Now, if you were like way overdressed, maybe.
Right. And this, and if everybody else was not in long evening gowns like hers, then I could see why some people thought they were being protective of the bride because, like I said, that dress in white would look like a wedding dress. But I think the only thing that she could have done differently is then after this other person comes up to her the next morning, what I would have done is I would have felt so bad and worried that this drama is going on all because of me. I would go directly to the bride and just say, you know, some people have said that I was being disrespectful. I was not. I did not mean to. I sure hope that it didn't offend you in any way. And I apologize, you know, just.
Someone said it's hilarious to think this crazy girl saw OP at the very end of the day and thought, what? That a scene-stealing, white dress-wearing interloper snuck into the disco to steal the bride's limelight. She didn't think it odd that she hadn't seen the white dress before. OP didn't look even vaguely familiar to her. The groom probably thought, what's she banging on about? OP's dress is yellow. We all saw her earlier. Sounds like she was a dangerous combination of unobservant, stupid, and possibly drunk. The friend who approached OP the next day is just hooked on the drama. Yeah. See, that's what I was wondering. Like, if they had a little too much to drink and were like, oh my gosh, why are you wearing white?
Yeah. Because that is a big thing now. You hear drama all the time on Reddit and everywhere else that somebody wore white to someone's wedding.
Yeah.
Sometimes I've heard it where it was an ex-girlfriend or the future mother-in-law wearing a white dress.
Monster-in-law.
Yeah,
that's what somebody pointed out. The bride complimented OP on the dress several times. If anything, it was like, look how white OP's dress looks. Haha, that's crazy. Yeah, that's what I would do. I'd be like, oh my gosh, you look like a bride now. Like, I wouldn't be. Yeah. Weird. Again, if you want to see the dress, I will have it up on our Instagram at the time of this episode.
It is very much a belle dress.
Is it? I don't feel like it is.
Oh, I did. The ruffles.
I guess the ruffles. But, like, not the straps and all.
Yeah.
Okay. Next story. Okay. This is from 6 years ago. But I think it I think it got onto like a best of Redditor, not best of Redditor update. No, it was, I think. I don't know for sure. But this is from TIFU, which is a subreddit called Today I Fucked Up. And it is, today I fucked up by trying to fly my drone at my sister's wedding reception. Interesting. So this actually happened about a week ago. 6 years and a week ago. Also, drones 6 years ago are not as good as drones now. So, and drones now aren't even that good. So this is worrisome. I'm worried someone's going to get hurt here. I wanted to shoot some cool overhead footage at my sister's wedding reception. And it was a pretty windy day. I don't have a drone, but I have some friends who have some drones that are like videographers and stuff like that. And it is very, like, you do not fly the drone if it's windy. I go for this shot where I start close and fly out backwards, zooming away from the party. Just as I do this, there's a strong gust of wind that pushes my drone backwards so fast, I didn't have enough time to react as it went into the trees. Now, this is a DJI drone, so it's got sensors to try and keep distance from objects automatically. The drone kept getting stuck in branches, getting itself out of them, only to fly right into another branch. All while this is going on, the whole wedding reception is gasping and moaning because I was so close to flying it out of the trees. All of a sudden, it flips over sideways, and that was it. Sploosh. That's what is written here. Sploosh. Okay? Into the water below. Yeah, there was a river. Forgot to mention that. I like the way this person writes. The drone had tumbled through the branches, bouncing off each one, just barely slipping out of their clutches, only to meet its ultimate demise into the depths of the river. This was quite the spectacle for everyone at the reception. But it gets worse. As people were coming up to me and sharing their condolences, a few mentioned the same crazy idea. You gotta get into the water and retrieve it. I'm fully dressed up for this wedding and realized what that meant. I juggled the idea around in my head for a few minutes before I realized I had already lost my drone. Can't get any worse from here. So I stripped down to my underwear. Bro, what? It can totally get worse.
It can totally get worse.
You can't say it can't get worse and then say, I stripped down to my underwear. Something's going to get worse here. So I stripped down to my underwear in front of the whole reception. Everyone was shocked someone was already taking their clothes off despite not having consumed any alcoholic beverages. I stood at the edge of the water looking down and... Sir, do not jump in that water. We have someone on their way to help fish your drone out of the water. All caps, all quotes.
Been you.
Yeah.
Did not like
You
it.
see, the wedding was at a private park. And apparently some of the staff had caught on that I was about to jump into the river, which apparently was off limits. I want to know about, like, is this like a bubbling brook? Like just a little shallow little... Or is this like a full-fledged, like...
Roaring
river.
rapids.
Like, of course, they waited till I had stripped down to tell me someone was on their way. So here I stand, pretty much naked, in front of the whole reception. Everyone is just staring at me, dead quiet. All of a sudden, my grandma starts laughing and runs to me, asking someone to take a picture of us, with me still in my underwear. This was quite the hit, as everyone found themselves wanting to come up and take pictures with me. Shame, embarrassment, sorrow. I'm not sure which emotion I felt more, but I accepted my fate at this point and had no other choice than to stand there while everyone laughed and took pictures of me, as I was cold and vulnerable. I finally get my clothes back on when the staff shows up to get the drone out of the water with a little fishing net. The water was 12 feet deep, while the net was like 4 foot in length max. And that was it. My drone, along with my dignity, was lost forever that day. That's it. That's the end. That's the end. Now, there is a video of the drone crashing. which I will play on here. I'll also put it up on our Instagram if you want to go see that at the time of this video, if you're listening to it or if you're here watching. I'll have it playing right now. Would you like to see the video?
Yeah.
So here's the video of it crashing. I mean, it's not much going on. Yeah, it just kind of crashes into the trees and that's it. And just keeps fumbling and fumbling. And trying to get out of there and fumbling.
I don't really think that that's what anybody cares about.
Yeah, I don't care about the footage, my guy. Now, on to the...
We want to see the photos.
We want to see the photos. On to the totally embarrassing photos, which he did post as well.
He wasn't too embarrassed.
I'm like, you're not that embarrassed,
I
my
don't
guy.
really think he lost his dignity.
I'm like, you're out here posting these photos on Reddit.
Right.
Here's the totally embarrassing photos. They're not that embarrassing. I think it's a funny story. I think it's awesome that the sister didn't go all crazy like some of these other people today in these Reddit stories have done. I mean, the sister could have been pissed off that he's like in his underwear at her wedding. Doesn't seem like that was the case here.
Is that not what's going on then? I figured that's what we were going to hear.
No, I think it's just the fact that he stripped down in his underwear. I mean, I'm like, you're a full-grown adult human. You made the choice to strip down into your underwear.
I don't think these, I don't know. I could be wrong. But did these people really ask to pose with him, or is he just wanting to
Was he like,
pose?
come on, let's get some photos?
Yeah, that's what it looks like to me. I'm sorry.
I don't know. I could see like a weird, I don't know. I could see like a weird grandma or whatever being like, oh, let's get a picture together. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess so.
Some comments. Honestly, this is a funny memory. Make light of it every few years with some good laughs.
Yeah.
Another comment. The only way to stop them telling the story is to tell it to them so many times they get sick of it.
Yeah.
Someone said, he may be the one that stripped down at the wedding, but they're all the ones who stared and not only didn't help, but didn't even attempt to sympathy strip with him. And someone commented back, sympathy strip? That's the first time I've ever heard of that.
No kidding.
Sympathy strip.
So is the sister mad?
I don't think so.
What
There's
was the
nothing about the sister.
What's the point of this story?
It's not am I the asshole?
Oh,
it's
okay.
Today I fucked up.
Oh, okay. That's right.
On Today
That's
I fucked
right.
up, people just say things that they did that was, it could be a little fuck up, it could be a big fuck up. They just are, they're just wanting to tell the story of today I fucked up.
He really just wanted to tell that story.
He just wanted to tell the story.
If the sister didn't get mad, then
you're chill, man.
Chill, yeah.
Someone said, yeah, don't play Never Have I Ever with anyone who was their OP or do. But yeah, that's a pretty great story to have. And he said, haha, I know. Even though it sucks, it was at my expense. I'm glad some good memories at least came out of it. And drones are always replaceable. Yeah, they said, we can pinpoint a moment in any TIFU where a vital error was made. For you, it was this. I juggled the idea around in my head for a few minutes before I realized I had lost my drone and it can't get any worse from here. And the OP said, yeah, I don't think I was thinking very clearly at the time.
Are we sure no alcohol was involved?
I know. I'm like, are you sure? Someone said 4 words of advice for the future. State Farm drone insurance. $40 for the year with no deductible. Covers everything, including flyaways. Best drone insurance ever. Full disclaimer, I am not a rep of State Farm, just a happy customer. So there you go with you drones. This was labeled a medium fuck up. They label it by extra small, small, medium, large, extra large, yeah. So, yeah, the update was just the video and the embarrassing photos. I mean, the embarrassing photos, we were saying no alcohol was involved, but aren't everyone in these photos?
It looks like they're
They're all holding beers. Well, he's not.
No, he's not. So I guess that's what he's saying is he hadn't had a drink yet.
Okay. Sure. I mean, sometimes you just make a dumb decision. It doesn't have to be alcohol.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Pretty crazy. Pretty crazy. Moving on. This one is from 12 days ago.
Oh, wow.
It's from Am I the Asshole? Am I the asshole for recording my friend's fiance at her bachelorette party and playing the recording for him?
Ooh.
Maybe. Maybe not.
Maybe
He
not.
needed to know. I was invited to the bachelorette party for my friend's fiance. It was over the long weekend at a vacation rental on the beach. There was booze, a hot tub, great food, a drone, a naked guy. No, I'm just kidding. It was definitely a hit. At one point, I was on the deck looking at the ocean, and the bride was drunk in the hot tub with two of her friends. She said she felt more relaxed than she had in a while. I assume she referred to wedding planning. One of her friends asked if she was having trouble with the little monster. She said no, that he was manageable for now. At that point, I realized they were talking about my friend's son.
Oh.
I took out my phone and started recording them. The bride's friends said horrible stuff about my friend's son, and the bride responded positively to everything, laughing and agreeing. Then she said that it was too bad he wasn't old enough to send to military school.
Oh.
I stopped recording when their topic changed. I don't think they ever realized I was close enough to hear them. When we got back, I asked to meet with my friend, and I played him the recording. He was quiet while he listened. After the recording was finished, he asked me to send it to him, which I did. Then he asked me to delete it, which I said I would do, but haven't yet. I feel like an asshole for interfering. I really do. However, I'm worried about my friend's son. Depending on what my friend does, I might need to send this recording to the poor boy's family. I'm just a poor boy from a poor family. Sorry, that's the only thing that came to mind when I read that. The poor boy's family. I feel like I've overstepped, but what else can I do? Was I being an asshole?
So I take it she's really close to the groom.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming female because she was at the bachelorette
Yeah, I feel
party.
like so. I feel like that
And
would make
how old
sense.
is the child?
It doesn't say anywhere. I'm looking for some comments. I don't see anything.
I don't know. I mean, if it was my good friend and we'd been friends forever, and if it was someone I didn't know very well, I might feel uncomfortable doing it. But if it was somebody I was really close to and close to that family, and she's talking bad about his son, I would tell him too.
Okay, there's some comments here. Apparently someone accused them of maybe liking the friend or something, and she replied, I am a lesbian. Liking the groom, I mean. Someone said something about a video. They said there was never a video, it was an audio recording. I don't know. I would agree with you. I would want to know. Hopefully, I mean, if they're close with a friend, I feel like, yeah, I wish I knew how young the kid was, but I guess pretty young, because she said, I wish he was old enough, you know. Someone said that's a huge red flag, especially when marriage and potentially a future co-parenting role is on the line. That's the thing.
Yeah.
It gets weird when there's a child involved.
Right.
Like, okay, the cheating thing, I would also want to know. I mean, like, I don't know. I think it's... I mean, obviously it's awkward and it sucks that you have to be the one to do that.
Right.
But I don't know. I feel like it's your duty as their friend. It's one thing if you just don't like her or whatever. And you're like, hey, I don't like her. You shouldn't be with this person.
Right.
But
if she really felt like he had no clue.
Yeah. And if it's like horrible things, like, I mean, we don't know the things, but
that's a tough one.
So that was
I don't know.
12 days ago. We have an update.
Oh.
From 9 days ago.
Oh.
Update. Am I the asshole for recording my friend's fiance at her bachelorette party and playing the recording for him? Yesterday, Friday afternoon, I got a text from my friend asking me to block his fiance's number. I was a bit thrown by the request and asked if everything was okay. He said he couldn't talk right now and asked me to please just block the number. So I blocked the number. I have this weird glitch with my Android Auto where if a blocked number calls me, it shows up in my recent calls as a missed call on my car's screen, even though on my actual phone it doesn't ring at all. I was driving later and saw a ton of missed calls from her. There were so many it exceeded what my car will show me. I kept the number blocked. Later, my friend's best friend, who was supposed to be the best man, called me and asked me if I had heard from my friend. I said yes and asked why. He sent me a screenshot from the fiance's Facebook talking about how people show you their true colors and saying she was newly single. I tried to call my friend, but he didn't answer. Tonight, I finally heard back from him. The long and short of it is that he asked her about how she feels about his son. She said he's adorable and sweet. My friend played her the recording and she asked where he got it. He refused to tell her, saying it shouldn't matter. She immediately guessed it was me. He refused to confirm it. She was angry that he wouldn't tell her. I recorded her conversation and said she can't trust him anymore. Well, bitch, I can't trust you. You're talking about my son. She called off the wedding. Not a great update, but since so many of you were invested, I thought you'd want to know. Wow.
Wow.
Someone said, so she broke it off since he would not tell her. Did she address what she said on the video? This is crazy. Update me. OP responded, he didn't give me a word for word rundown of their conversation, but from what he told me once the topic shifted to her wanting to know who recorded her, and never went back to what she said. It's weird. I didn't know what to expect, but it definitely wasn't this. I thought maybe she would say she was taken out of context or something, but shifting the topic completely from the son to the recording, that I did not anticipate.
Yeah, she's just deflecting. She's not. She's just worried about or mad about who gave her away.
Yeah.
Who spilled the beans.
Yeah, someone said, I'm surprised she called it off. That's true.
Yeah. Yeah.
Another person said, I hate your kid, but I can't tell you that even though you know now. Must deflect and make myself the victim. Also I can't trust you. The OP responded, me too. I feel really bad for him. At least this way she can't play the he left me right before our wedding card, though.
Yeah, that is true. She's the one that called it off. So apparently he had no idea that's how she felt.
So,
and I mean, it could be that she was just drunk and I was going to say just trying to impress her friends, but no, they were all, apparently they always talk about the kid.
It's now a locked and deleted post. I can't read the whole thing. Oh, wait, no, I did find it. I found it. Okay. Yay. There's one more update.
Oh.
But she moved it over to r/Bridezilla. And the update is from 4 days ago.
Wow.
And it is, Bridezilla called off her wedding to my friend and is now suing him.
How can she sue him?
I don't know.
She called off the wedding.
Yeah. So, this past week has just been nuts. What feels like forever ago, I was at my friend's fiance's bachelorette party. At the party, she said and reacted positively to inappropriate statements about my friend's son. So I recorded her and sent the recording to my friend. When my friend played the recording for her, she wanted to know where he got it. He refused to tell her. She called off the wedding. She called off the wedding, stating that she couldn't trust him. I just found out that she has declared her intention to sue my friend for any funds she has already spent on the wedding, even though she left him. He is out a lot of money too, probably around as much as she is. So if anything, she should be compensating him. She is also telling people that she left him because she feared for her safety, as he was spying on her and having her followed. A complete lie. She has gone from saying that my friend is the love of her life, that she can't wait to spend forever with, to saying he is manipulative, controlling, and has ruined her life. Quite a turn. She apparently wants around $25,000 to reimburse her for her dress, the cake deposit, the florist fee, the wedding planner's fee, and her emotional pain and suffering. It's an absolute mess, and the wedding was supposed to be in 8 days, so several people already have non-refundable travel arrangements and are completely confused. I have her number blocked, but she emailed me saying she would accept monetary contributions towards my friend's debt from me since this situation is all my fault, because she knows I'm the one who recorded her. I reported the email as spam and ignored it. My friend already paid for the venue and the catering, so he has considered throwing some sort of impromptu fundraiser for a local charity that day. But it's probably too close to the date in question to get the word out. This whole sequence of events has me in utter disbelief.
It sounds like to me the bride is gaslighting everyone.
Yeah.
Trying to gaslight everyone. And I don't think she would win
I don't either.
a lawsuit since she is
the one that called it off.
Right.
Someone said this woman has no idea how expensive a lawsuit is.
Yeah. Well, and she has no proof that he was spying because it wasn't.
No.
He received the video. He didn't take it. He didn't pay someone to take it. And she's gaslighting people, trying to convince them that, oh, he was spying on her and having her followed and all that.
Yeah.
None of that's true.
Yeah. I'm surprised she's not trying to sue her.
Yeah.
The friend.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
So.
Well, it sounds like another one that dodged the bullet, though.
Yeah. Okay. We have a choice of two. I'm going to let you choose for the last one.
Okay.
Okay. Either I'm going to read you just the title.
Okay.
For each one. So, am I the asshole for expecting my brother to uninvite my soon-to-be ex-husband and my friends from his wedding? Okay. Or, am I the asshole for asking my fiance's relatives to pay for themselves after they brought uninvited guests to our pre-wedding dinner?
Oh. Let's do that one.
Okay. This is 6 days old. Am I the asshole? I, 30 male, am engaged to my fiancé, 29 female, and we're getting married this fall. Last weekend, we hosted a small pre-wedding dinner, just a chill evening for our immediate families to meet, talk, and celebrate a bit more before the real wedding chaos begins. We reserved a table at a mid-range restaurant we both like. Good food, not crazy expensive. We confirmed 14 guests. Our parents, siblings, plus 2 friends from the wedding party. Everything was set. I even called ahead to double check the head count. We show up and her family brings 4 extra people. Her cousin and his wife, who were visiting anyway. Her sister's boyfriend and, weirdly, his teenage daughter. They said it was last minute and hope that's okay. The staff were gracious, though somewhat surprised. They had to push another table over and reshuffle the whole seating plan. We ended up waiting around 15 minutes, apologizing to the servers. Not a disaster, but definitely awkward. Dinner itself was fine. Everyone had a good time. We had mains, shared some appetizers, a few bottles of wine, nothing too wild. But when the check came, it was a bit over $850. We'd expected around $650 based on the confirmed guests and menu. So I quietly asked the server to split the extras meals from the rest. I paid for the 14 we planned for. The extra $200 from the uninvited guests, I felt that wasn't really on us, LOL. Everyone paid without fuss, but her cousin seemed confused. Her sister didn't say anything at the time, but later my fiancé told me she felt embarrassed that I made her family feel unwelcome. She said I could have just let it go for one night and brought it up later. I said I didn't want to pretend everything was fine while people ignore basic plans we made together. She said it felt like I turned a family dinner into a power move over money. Now things are somewhat weird between us. So, am I the asshole?
I don't think he was the asshole, except that, I mean, again, this is where you really need to know your partner.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I feel like if I put myself in that situation,
Mm-hmm.
and let's say it was your dad and I, and your dad knew that it would embarrass me, or, you know, he would know me well enough to know whether I would want him to go ahead and just cover it and not say anything, or if I felt like, no, these people are uninvited, you shouldn't pay that. I think we know each other well enough. Of course, we've been married 45 years. We talked about that. They're not even married yet.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what's hard in these situations, because sometimes it takes a while to learn everything about your partner. But I don't know if he's the asshole, but I know that the guests are certainly the assholes.
I feel like the guests maybe came to get a free meal.
Yeah.
It might not be.
It might not be.
It might not be.
But
I mean, we've done dinners before, Like, and I don't know, it just depends on the people and everything else. Like, we've gone out to dinner with like a whole bunch of family, right? And like, we'll be like, oh, we'll get the grandma's dinner.
Right,
Like, we'll get
right.
Gigi's dinner. We'll pay
Right.
for her dinner. It's Christmas. We'll pay for her dinner. But like, you know, like your brother will pay for his own. And like, there's
Right.
never been any weirdness there because he'll do
Right.
the same thing. Like, it's a very normal thing to be like, okay, we got the grandmother today, or we got, you know, like,
Right.
I don't know.
Well, and that's the thing. I don't feel like it was just kind of a fun, laid back thing to do. That was the whole point. Family getting to know each other. That's
Yeah.
what the OP said. And so you've got cousin in town, and you've got
A sister's boyfriend and his teenage daughter.
daughter. And so they're kind of an extended family.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it was fine for them to come along. I think they should have asked first. Like,
Yeah.
whoever brought them with them.
Yeah, should
Whether
have
it was
called and been like, hey, is it cool if so-and-so tags along?
We've got
Just-
a cousin in town,
Yeah.
and so-and-so's
And then
boyfriend
they could have
is-
told them, like, yeah, we were planning on, like, we had budgeted to pay for everyone's dinner, but I don't know if we can
Right.
do that. Like, I had a friend the other day that threw her daughter's birthday party.
Right.
And someone called her last minute and said, hey, can a sibling tag along
Right.
to the party?
Right.
And my friend said, yeah, that's perfectly fine. I don't know if we'll have enough party favors for the sibling as well. We'll have to
Right.
see.
Right.
But they're welcome to come. They can play. They can do everything. And that, I was like, brilliant.
Perfect.
Yeah.
That's common courtesy. It would have been
Well, and I would feel
someone-
weird being like
Right.
the random cousin or like the sister's boyfriend's teenage daughter and being like,
and not offering to
Yeah.
pay. That's the
and like
thing.
expecting to be paid for this dinner.
Right.
Like, that's weird. Also,
Right.
we don't know their financial situation as far as the couple.
Right.
Like, they may have strictly budgeted. They said we planned on it being around $600 based on the confirmed guests. They may have budgeted for that, really saved up so that they could do this dinner for their families to meet, and can't afford an extra $200 added onto the bill.
Well, that's the thing. And that's where the partners have to know each other and know,
Yeah.
like, you know.
I mean, that's a big jump. Like,
And I know it was awkward because it was probably hard for them to
Mm-hmm.
not, to have any privacy to say, hey, this is going to be more money. Can we afford to,
Mm-hmm.
we didn't budget this. Can we afford to do this? Do you want me to pay it? Or do you want me to ask them to pay for themselves?
well, to me,
They didn't have a way of discussing it.
Well, to me, I'm like, they're doing this. They didn't even have to do this, the
No.
group. To me, I'm almost like, that should have been like something that the parents paid for anyway. I'm like, to me, as the person that brought them along,
Right.
if that's like one of her parents or something that brought like her sister along and her sister's
Right.
boyfriend, then they should have been like, now don't put them on the check. We
Right.
got them.
Right. We brought them. Yeah.
Like, which is what, I mean, our family always goes out to eat on like Christmas, and we've had different, throughout
Right.
time, we've had different like boyfriends and girlfriends of all the different cousins come. And I've heard that
Yeah.
said, like when I brought a boyfriend one time, you were like, now don't put him on
Yeah.
the check. We'll get him.
Yeah.
Or like, when another cousin is like, has a new boyfriend, like somebody else gets them. Like, it's
Right.
all very, but
Yeah.
I mean, money is a weird thing. And if
Right.
you are not splitting the bill, it can be
Right.
weird.
Right.
So,
And sometimes people do take advantage.
Yeah.
Like maybe she's marrying someone that they know makes a lot of money. So they're like, oh, he can cover it. No problem, And it doesn't matter. You can't assume that. You should never assume how much money someone has or how much money they make. It's still the polite thing to say, hey, they weren't invited. We brought them along. Let us cover it.
someone said, yes, they fully expected a nice free dinner. Definitely not the asshole.
Yeah.
Someone says the question becomes who actually invited them to come along.
Right.
That's the person that should have gotten their bill.
That's what you were saying.
Someone else said, an interesting take, his fiance is an asshole too. This would cause me to question if every time our family does something inappropriate, I'm supposed to look the other way. Having been forced to turn the other cheek and keep peace as a child, I would have one foot out the door, not the asshole. She said, I could have just let it go for one night. The boundary busting of this family will not last for one night. The future wife will be enabling them for the duration of the marriage and after the divorce.
Right.
And someone said, indeed, this is what's known as a shit test. OP passed it. If he'd paid, he would be subsidizing his fiance's family actions for the entire marriage.
And that's okay if that's what he wants to do. If he loves his partner enough that he's going to take her family, the good or the bad, and he wants to cover it to make her happy, there's nothing wrong with that. But apparently he doesn't want to. So...
someone said, not the asshole. I think you handled it well. In what world is it socially acceptable to show up to a hosted dinner with 4 invited guests? The fact that they didn't offer to pay for them is an additional level of rudeness. And OP responded, thanks. Yeah, I mean, it's not that big a deal, but it was still a little weird. And someone said 1,000 times, yes, OP, they are the ones who showed up unannounced, especially after you already confirmed, and then they expected it to just be okay. Expecting them to pay for themselves is the least they could do.
Well, they were lucky that the restaurant was accommodating.
Yeah.
The restaurant could have said, no. We don't have room.
Someone said, I don't know if this is necessarily the case. The extras who showed up literally might not have had any idea that they weren't invited or that it was the type of dinner that it was.
Right.
It's more the fault of whoever invited them without consulting. Because that's the thing. Right. They could have just said, the people that invited them or brought them along might have just been like, hey, we're going out to dinner with, so-and-so and their fiance, do you want to tag along? They might not have known that it was like this big dinner that they were like paying for and all this.
Well, but they didn't offer to pay.
That's true.
But they may have been told. Oh, it's fine. It's all taken care of. You don't have to worry about it.
That's true.
That's what it sounds like to me.
So it may not have been them, yeah. There was a little mini update.
Okay.
So... OP said, thanks for all the comments. It was very cool to read different opinions. Unfortunately, I can't possibly answer everyone, so we had a talk. I wasn't super dramatic or anything, just kind of weird. But her relatives texted me later saying no worries and that they didn't mean to cause any issue, which was quite decent of them.
Yes.
My fiance's still a little distant, though. She said she needs time to think about how we handle stuff as a couple. So I guess we will see.
Well, that's the thing. They do need to figure out how they'll handle that as a couple.
That is a legit thing.
That's something you'll be doing the rest of your lives together.
That's definitely something you need to talk about.
Right.
There are some more comments here. I don't know what the comment was, but he said, I guess so. I am a socially awkward guy. Another comment here. Someone said, what cultures are you both from? From the post, it seems that the fiancé may be from a different culture. Overall, you're the asshole. I'm really surprised at all the not the asshole responses. Was it wrong of fiancé's family to bring extra guests without asking? Absolutely. However, those people are part of the family you're marrying into, and embarrassing them isn't a great start, especially given that the point was for the family members to get to know each other. I would have A, checked with your fiancé if she okayed it, B, conveyed your concerns to her and let her handle the decision about payments. Even though their behavior was bad, is $200 really the hill you want to choose to die on even before you get married? Your call. I don't like that take that much because you don't know someone's financial situation.
Exactly.
You don't know. I'm like, I get saying not the asshole. Like, I don't know. The OP did respond. He said, yes, she is Asian culture. I didn't really think that mattered much, honestly. I just assumed dinner is dinner and we were all there to hang out and eat. I don't know, maybe I should have talked to her more about how our family does things. I'm not really good at that kind of stuff. I get nervous around a lot of people and just try to keep things simple. I wasn't trying to embarrass anyone. It just kind of felt like everything got dropped on me and I didn't know what to do. And someone commented back to that and said, ignore the you're the asshole from that person. I have both Indian, Chinese, and Korean married into the families. It's not a race thing or a culture thing. They would never bring whoever they wanted to sit at a sit-down restaurant and they would say beforehand. Yeah, I think it's weird to bring like culture into that. Like that's not really, I don't think it's right. Cause to me that almost sounds like you're trying to stereotype like a certain culture into like being weird about it. I think from that comment, though, it definitely, how he was like, I'm just not good at that stuff. I should have talked to her. I'm like, I don't know if maybe she wanted you to handle the bill for tonight or whatever. Or,
Right.
you know, you talked about it. I don't know their finances. Like, do they split? Like, do they have conjoined bank accounts? Like, because I'm like, if she was really that worried about it, she could have picked up the $200 if they have separate funds or.
Right. But they were in a situation where they didn't really get to talk about it.
Yeah, that's the thing. But I feel like they should talk about it now.
Right.
Like, they didn't have a chance to talk about it beforehand because they didn't know it was going to happen.
Right.
But maybe this is a great thing that happened so that you can now talk about finances and how to deal with family and all.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, I don't know.
We've been in that situation lots of times as a married couple where we've gone out to eat with someone or a group of people, and maybe David's decided to pick up the whole tab, and then, you know, he didn't really ask me, but he would say afterwards, I hope you didn't mind. I just thought it'd be nice if we, you know, if we, and I, you know.
Yeah. It's not like you can take it back after that. So it's, I don't know. But hopefully they'll work it out. There's no more updates because it's a pretty new post. Yeah. So I think they just need to really sit down and talk if they're going to get married about, like, okay, finances and stuff. Like I said, because he was kind of like, well, I just don't know. You know, it's like, well, then y'all do need to decide how to decide things. Right. But it was just an awkward situation.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Okay. Oh, that was a good one.
Yeah. Fiancés, marriage, bridal parties, crazy stuff. I liked the vegan cake one. It made me want vegan cake. But yeah, that was, let us know if there's a crazy wedding story that you have. Did you crash out at a wedding? Are you a wedding crasher? I would say some of these people definitely crashed out. They definitely got a little overreaction. Yeah. But other ones handled things well, and it was a good mix. I enjoyed these.
I did too. I really enjoyed these.
I have 2 friends that just got engaged, so hopefully nothing like this will happen at their wedding.
No drama. No drama.
But maybe I'll be going to a couple weddings soon. So, yeah, happy wedding season.
I don't see either one of them being bridezillas.
No, not at all. Not at all. They are definitely not bridezilla material, and I don't think their fiancés are groomzilla materials. I don't think either one of their fiancés is gonna book their wedding in a different country and just expect them to go along with it.
If you are, I hope you're listening to this.
We're gonna come get you. Don't do it.
Don't.
But yeah. And everyone comment happy anniversary to mom and dad.
Well, you know, your dad did surprise me with our honeymoon.
Oh, that's right. I remember that.
And I remember, I think it was my mom got a little bit ticked about it because she was thinking we were doing one thing and we were doing something else. But I think he told her. I thought
that he told them.
I think he did. Maybe he did.
Were you cool with the surprise?
Yeah, I was real cool with the surprise. But we originally were just going to go. I mean, we were young. We were broke. And we were going to go to just drive my little car, my little Mustang.
She had a Mustang.
Not a cool Mustang. To Galveston. And neither one of us had flown before, and your dad booked us flights
to the Poconos, right?
Mountains. Yes.
Is that in Pennsylvania?
Yes.
The Poconos?
Yes. Yes.
But I always think about it in Friends.
We flew into Poconos. New Jersey and drove up through the Poconos. Rented a car.
Nice.
It was cool. Very cool.
Very cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. You got to fly for the first time together.
Yeah.
Was it scary?
Yeah, it was. I was scared. but it was fun.
That is cool. We'll see, like, it's something like that, like a surprise honeymoon.
Right.
Like, and if you're cool with it, like, I feel like if you hadn't been cool with it and been like, hey, David, I'd like to, like, plan this with you, I'm sure he would have been like, okay.
But see, I think he knew me. As young as we were, we had dated a long time. I think he knew me well enough that that's something that I would have been excited about.
Yeah.
You know.
And he didn't, like, book... Well, like, you hate the beach. Like, he didn't like book you a trip where you guys are like camping on the beach in the sand. Like, he knows that would have been a bad time.
Yeah.
So, okay.
He likes doing surprises, and I like being surprised.
He does like surprises.
So it works out.
Yeah. There you go. So, you know, 45 years of marriage advice right there. If you have any crazy stories from a wedding you have attended or maybe your wedding, let us know in the comments.
Yeah.
And congrats to all of those that are engaged and getting married this year. And let us know what other subreddits and topics you want to see us copy? You want to see us, what was I trying to say? You want to see us cover. That's what I was trying to say. Yeah. You want to see us cover in the future. But thank you guys so much for watching. Diggle says he loves you guys. Diggle says he loves you guys. If you're watching, Diggle's got bedhead. And we will see you guys in the next one. Bye.